But this will definitely brighten your day. Hawaiian Airlines wants to get you to paradise even faster. I'll pack my bags now. Our Bryce Newberry joins us live from the Austin airport with the big news, and aloha to you, Bryce.
Aloha, Yvonne. Good morning.
Well, good morning. Let's talk a little bit about the big deal happening. It is a big deal because we're in the middle of a pandemic. For an airline to kind of plan this, and not only plan one flight a week, but 2 flights a week, it took a lot of organizing, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, they initially announced this flight back in December with 2 flights weekly, but because of the demand that they're already seeing and Austin flyers wanting to get to Hawaii, they've actually increased it to 3 flights weekly. That's for the summer travel demand that they're expecting to see. So definitely a lot of excitement from Austinites to get to the islands.
And you know, Bryce, I read that the airline has been looking at the Austin market for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm curious what drew them into Central Texas and to Austin.
Yeah, back when they announced it, I did speak with a leader from the airline, and there were a couple of things. First, just kind of the organic growth that we talk about all the time with Boomtown here on KVUE. But the other thing is all of the transplants who are coming from the West Coast. They said that that kind of strengthened the ties to the Hawaii market. And there's not really a single airline here at Austin's airport that serves Hawaii and kind of carves out that nice niche. So that's what they were really interested in doing.
Oh, yeah, they're capitalizing on that. Again, tickets are on sale now. I can only imagine, Bryce, introducing this new service has come with some challenges, especially in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, of course. You know, the Hawaiian Islands do have a strict COVID-19 testing rule, so that's something that the airline has had to navigate with this launch. But from what we're told, they've successfully navigated that. There are options for flyers, and that's something that we're going to be talking about with the CEO of the airline coming up throughout Daybreak this morning.
I'm curious to see what they have to say. Since you're there, can you book us a flight next week, maybe Monday?
Hey, you're going to be lucky if I don't go with them today.
I was going to say you do have a couple more hits this morning, so don't just fly away to paradise. Thank you so much, Bryce. We'll check back in with you in about 30 minutes. And flying to Hawaii from Austin's growing airport is about to get even faster for travelers. Our Bryce Newberry joins us live from one of the Hawaiian Airlines planes. You got inside. You've got the big news, Bryce. Give us more information. Lay it on us.
Hey, Yvonne, good morning to you. Yeah, we did get inside. We're in the first class cabin right now of this Airbus A330 that's going to be taking off to Honolulu in just a few hours this morning. It's really nice in here. It looks really comfortable. Like, it would be great to take a little bit of a nap right now. But we do have the CEO of Hawaiian Airlines with us this morning. Peter Ingram is joining us. And Peter has done this flight. It's about 8 hours. Actually, you're going to be doing this flight, right?
Well, I flew in last night, so I did it in the other direction last night.
And it's a little bit shorter when you're coming to Austin, right?
With the wind at your back, it was a little over 7 hours. It'll be about 8.5 going home.
Wow, so an 8.5-hour flight, but obviously it's really comfortable. There's a lot of space for people to kick their feet up in here. What is the onboard experience like with Hawaiian Airlines?
Yeah, our onboard experience is something that we really take a lot of pride in. But one of the things we want to do at Hawaiian Airlines is, as soon as people get on board, give them the experience of our authentic Hawaiian hospitality. And so if you come on as our guest, we want to serve you a nice meal, give you some of the signature touches. We have a Kaloa rum punch for everyone on a roll, not just up here in the premium cabin. And it really is something our employees take a lot of pride in, taking care of people when they're in our care.
That's great. Yvonne, did you hear that? A Hawaiian Kahlua punch. Or you said a rum Kahlua?
Kaloa rum punch.
Wow, okay, that does sound good. Now, I do want to ask you, though, obviously because of COVID, we are wearing our masks. That is a federal law. What are some of the changes, though, to the onboard experience because of that?
Yeah, we've done a number of things different. We've enhanced the cleaning procedures in the airplanes, the sanitation that we have. We've reduced some of the interactions, which is difficult for us, something that really troubled us to have to do, but we've limited the number of times our flight attendants are serving, so putting all of our food on one plate as opposed to having it come in multiple rounds here in the premium cabin. But we didn't want to take all of that away because it is so much of who we are, and that hospitality on board is really a signature for us.
And obviously, Austin is growing like crazy. This is a flight that originally was going to launch with 2 flights weekly, and then for the summer demand, it's going to be increasing to 3 weekly. How is just the growth in Austin kind of driving Hawaiian's expansion here?
Well, we've been looking at Austin for a long time. We've obviously noticed the growth of activity at the airport, the growth in the population. It's the second largest source of visitors for Hawaii that up until today did not have a nonstop flight to Hawaii, and so we're happy to be able to remedy that. And as companies have moved from the West Coast and relocated, it's a lot of people who are familiar with our service already, and so we think that's going to be a great tailwind for us as we launch this service.
Well, we definitely want to talk with you more about the growth and the kind of decision to expand here, especially during the pandemic. That's coming up, in about another 15 minutes or so. Yvonne, we're going to send things back to you in the studio.
Bryce, it looks so roomy and spacious, especially for a long trip. You know, you want it to be nice and roomy. It looks great. And don't think I didn't hear him say rum punch. I literally went, ooh. Like, I was excited about it. But
I knew you heard that.
Of course. He did a great job with that interview. And also, I was just interested in all this information, and he just kind of, let us know what's going on there with Hawaiian Airlines. Thank you so much, Bryce. Austin's airport is making it easier to say aloha. Here's a live look toward the resort in Honolulu, Hawaii. I know it's dark right there. I know it seems like, I wonder what it's going to look like. Let me tell you, take my word for it. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to brighten up your day. Right now, it's 73 degrees, and we're overnight right now. So you can imagine how warm and inviting it's going to be. Hawaiian Airlines wants to get you to paradise even faster. And our Bryce Newberry is live at the airport this morning, where you can now hop on one of its planes and fly directly to Honolulu. Okay, I'm already jealous that you have the lei already. I mean, it sounds like a party.
It's so good to be here this morning, Yvonne. This flight is going to be taking off in just a few hours, or just after 10 o'clock later on this morning. And this route was first announced back in December. That was a time when air travel was really down. Here at Austin's airport last year, air travel was down about 63% overall. So people really weren't flying. And so Hawaiian's expansion here in Austin was definitely some welcome news for the airport, and a sign that they saw as kind of a recovery and a quicker recovery here at Austin's airport. We are with the CEO, Peter Ingram, once again, and obviously the pandemic is still going on. That's still a concern. So I wanted to ask you, because Hawaii does have testing restrictions for flyers and travelers, what are some options for some flyers who are going with Hawaiian Airlines?
Yeah, one of the things we wanted to make sure we had available here in Austin is testing providers who are on the state of Hawaii's approved list. And there's a couple of things we've done. One, we partnered with a company called Worksite Labs, and they've set up a testing lab right here by the airport that you can access at various locations, including right by the cell phone lot. There's about 15 Care Now locations that are approved for testing for Hawaii, and there's always the option of using a test with a company called Vault, where you can mail in your tests through UPS and get that returned in time.
So that's obviously really important for anyone who is going to Hawaii. I also want to ask you, because again, air travel was down quite a bit last year everywhere. What was it like deciding to launch a new city like Austin during a pandemic?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a leap of faith, but one of the things we thought about last year, not knowing how demand was going to recover, is anticipating that maybe the depth of demand of our traditional markets wasn't going to be as strong as it was before. And so we accelerated some of the options we had for places that were on our development list before. And Austin was very much near the top of that list, and one of the things we've been looking at for a while. And so we couldn't wait to give it a chance. And as people are coming out of the pandemic and there's that pent-up demand for travel, we really want to provide a new option for people in this area.
Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us this morning and having everyone out here to greet us. This flight takes off after 10 o'clock this morning, about 8 hours to get all the way to Honolulu. Yvonne, back to you.
Oh, a direct flight. I mean, I think I can pack quickly. Can you, Bryce? I hope you can.
I'm already packed.
He's like, it's in the car. All right, thank you so much, Bryce. So Austin's airport is making it easier to get to paradise. Sign me up. Hawaiian Airlines is now offering direct flights to Honolulu. Our Bryce Newberry is now live on the tarmac at the Austin airport with the big news. I mean, we've had so much excitement going on from you there, Bryce, today. It is a big day, and explain to us why.
Yeah, Yvonne, good morning. We're actually inside this time. It's a little too chilly this morning, but it is a really big day here because Hawaiian Airlines is launching, and it's the first airline to launch from Austin's airport since 2019. There were no new airlines there last year, and so this is a really exciting day. It's also the first market in Texas for Hawaiian Airlines and the first nonstop flight from Austin to Hawaii. So a lot of firsts happening today. And joining us now is the executive director of the Austin airport, Jackie Yaft. Jackie, thank you for being with us this morning. Up early, I want to ask you because, you know, it's been a really tough year for air travel. And between this new flight from Hawaiian Airlines as well as the recent Allegiant announcement that they're going to be opening a base here, how are those kind of some signs of positive recovery for the airport?
They're definitely a strong indication of a fast recovery to the pre-COVID numbers with the economic and the resiliency sign of the city of Austin, how strong it is in the background and all the companies moving in. This is a great indication that we'll be recovering faster than what the forecast has called.
And what kind of trends are you already starting to see or maybe forecasting for how travel is going to kind of return to normal here in Austin at least?
So a couple of things. We're seeing that the airlines are starting to put new routes. Existing airlines that we had are advertising new routes now for all the leisure travel and all the new demand. And also seeing our numbers up 60% already, which is a great indication. And we're seeing the summer number indication going up higher than we anticipated or forecasted.
Well, that is good news. This is an exciting day for you, I'm sure. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this morning. This flight takes off just after 10 o'clock this morning. It is not sold out yet, but Yvonne, we're going to send things back to you in the studio for now.
All right. I think after these hits this morning and us talking about it, I think a lot of people are thinking, you know what, I can make some time for Honolulu and Hawaii. So thank you so much, Bryce.